Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be making a video about jargon in policy debate, which is essentially slang about debate. This video will be in two parts, so make sure you check out part 2. I'm going to start with the simpler stuff, like larger ideas, and then get down to more technical, individual type stuff. So I'm just going to start out with simplest thing, which is evidence, cards, right? When you write a research paper or anything, you have to have evidence that backs up arguments that you make. And so in debate, this is in the form of a card, and the parts of a card are, there's a tag, the author citation, their qualifications, and then like the citation of where you got the information, and then like the actual article itself. So a card is essentially an article, typically scholarly works that support your central argument. Most constructive speeches are 100% reading cards. Right, so this brings me to tags, which is just a very succinct summary of the argument of the evidence. It's at the top of the card, like in bold-faced. That's written by you or whoever made the file. And then a warrant is simply an analysis of an argument. For example, if your argument is that Chick-fil-A is the best restaurant in the world, right? You can't just say that and have people believe you. You have to say, well, it's the best restaurant because the food is tasty and it's cheap. That's the warrant. It's just explanation of the argument that makes it valid. Internals are like the internal part of the card. It's the actual article of the author that wrote it, and it's the part that you read from. All right, and then open cross-ex. Cross-examination is the time between constructive speeches, 3 minutes in policy debate, where you're allowed to ask the person who just spoke questions just to clarify things or to advance arguments that you're going to make later. So open cross-ex means that either partner can answer or ask questions. It's really important to ask judges before the round starts if open cross-ex is okay with them, and make sure that you don't overshadow or try to steal the spotlight from your partner, because this is going to hurt your speaker points. Breaking a new AF is when a team writes an entirely new affirmative case and they're reading it for the first time ever. They typically are not going to disclose this before the round because they don't have to. Disclosing can mean two things. When a judge says that they're going to disclose, it'll mean that after the round is over, you're going to hear the decision from them. But disclosure can also mean that before a round starts, you can ask a team, what is your affirmative? And they will tell you to be polite. And then they'll ask you, what are your past two NRs? And that is when you will tell them, out of courtesy, like what arguments you have read in the past 2 NRs that you've given at the tournament. So if you're going to break a new AF or write any argument, you're going to have to cut cards. So cutting cards is just the process of taking a scholarly article and making it into a card. This includes writing the tag, citing your author and their qualifications, your source of the article, and highlighting the parts that you're actually going to read in round. So here's when we get to the stuff that's really important in round. First of all is a concession, and this is not specific to debate at all. A concession is when you concede something, you agree with the other side. And this is really bad because in debate you're supposed to have lots of clash, meaning you're supposed to say the opposite of whatever the opposing team says, because that's what debate is. Now, a dropped argument is when a debater fails to respond to an argument that was previously made, and when someone drops an argument, it counts as a concession. And you should definitely point this out during your speech because it'll help you win the debate.